but just never really felt like authentic.
Jelly Roll never really felt authentic with the life he was living. And in 2022, that reality hit hard when he stepped on a scale and saw 563 pounds staring back at him. 2 years later, the country star's transformation shocked the world, as he went from overdosing in prison to selling out arenas, from eating entire wedding cakes to losing over 100 pounds in just 6 months. This is a story of how a former drug dealer became one of country music's most unlikely stars. Born Jason Bradley DeFord on December 4, 1984, in Anch, a rough area just outside Nashville, Tennessee, Jelly Roll grew up surrounded by chaos. His mother Donna struggled with mental health issues and drug addiction, while his father Buddy was often absent, running a meat business and working as a bookie for illegal gambling. The home was unstable, and Jelly Roll, the youngest of 4 children, found comfort in music. His mother nicknamed him Jelly Roll because he was a chubby kid, never imagining the name would one day be famous. Anch was filled with crime, drugs, and poverty, and Jelly Roll later said he didn't know anyone with a real job growing up. Schools were overcrowded and underfunded, and by age 12 he had already witnessed drive-by shootings and lost a cousin to gang violence. Crime became normal, and by 14 he could name dozens of drugs and their street prices but couldn't solve basic math. That same year, he was arrested for the first time for shoplifting cigarettes and marijuana, beginning a decade-long cycle of jail time. While locked up at 15 in the Davidson County Juvenile Detention Center, Jelly Roll wrote his first rap song on the back of a commissary form, using music as a way to survive emotionally. Inspired by artists like 3 6 Mafia and UGK, he poured his real life struggles into his lyrics, writing over 100 songs by the time he was 17, mostly from behind bars. In 2002, a music teacher heard him perform Streets Don't Love Nobody at a youth center talent show and helped him record his first demo. By 2005, Jelly Roll released his first mixtape, Halfway House, recorded in his mother's basement. With no financial backing, he spent his last $500 making CDs and sold them out of his car, gas stations, and barbershops, slowly building a local following. At the same time, drugs controlled his life. He started drinking and smoking by 12, tried cocaine at 13, and was selling drugs by 15. His addiction worsened, leading to a near-fatal overdose in 2006 when his heart stopped for 2 minutes. It wasn't until his final prison sentence in 2008 that he joined a 12-step program and truly confronted his addiction, using music as a form of healing. In 2009, his career took off when rapper Lil White discovered his freestyle online, leading to the viral hit Pop Another Pill. From there, Jelly Roll helped form the group SNO, released charting albums, and spent years grinding independently, dropping dozens of projects and connecting with fans through relentless touring and unconventional meetups. Music became his therapy, and songs like RX, Save Me, and later his sobriety journey resonated deeply with listeners, ultimately transforming him from a troubled addict into a powerful voice of redemption and resilience. The success of Save Me eventually earned Jelly Roll a platinum certification, but his music was never just about personal success. It was about giving people hope. By openly sharing his pain, addiction, and recovery, he made listeners feel less alone, once saying, "Music saved my life, and now I'm trying to use it to save others." In 2013, he released the album Whiskey, Weed and Women on August 6, originally planning to call it Whiskey, Weed and Waffle House as a nod to his love for the Southern restaurant chain. Just weeks before release, however, Waffle House threatened legal action over the name and logo. Instead of backing down, Jelly Roll flipped the situation to his advantage, renaming the album and slapping a bold cease and desist stamp on the cover, turning controversy into buzz. The 22-track project blended hip-hop, rock, and country, showcasing his unique sound, with emotional standouts like Creature and Sunday Morning. Though it debuted at number 50 on Billboard's R&B, a hip-hop chart, and sold only 1,800 copies in its first week, it was a major achievement for an independent artist, and by 2020, for the title track, had surpassed 15 million streams. Still, Jelly Roll's genre-blending style made his career difficult to categorize. Between 2013 and 2020, he released multiple projects that didn't fit neatly into any one lane, leaning country and outlaw rock on Waylon and Willie with Struggle Jennings in 2016, then shifting back toward hip-hop with A Beautiful Disaster in 2017. Radio stations and streaming platforms didn't know where to place him, and in 2019 he admitted to Billboard that he felt musically homeless, saying he was too country for hip-hop and too hip-hop for country. The rejection cut deep, and by 2018 he nearly quit music altogether. A turning point came in 2019 when country star Brantley Gilbert encouraged him to fully embrace his country roots while keeping his raw honesty, advice that reignited his passion and led to his breakthrough project Ballads of the Broken in 2021. Behind the scenes, however, Jelly Roll continued battling addiction. He later revealed that in 2012 he was spending more than $1,000 a day on drugs, and on July 15, 2013, he overdosed on heroin and fentanyl, requiring 3 doses of Narcan to survive. Though he managed 18 months of sobriety, he relapsed in 2015 and entered rehab multiple times, including a 90-day program in 2016 and outpatient treatment in 2018. Fame brought new pressure, and in April 2023 he relapsed again, using cocaine for 37 days. But since May 17, 2023, he has remained sober. As of January 2025, he is 20 months clean, crediting therapy, 12-step meetings, and the unwavering support of his wife, Bunai XO. He carries a sobriety chip everywhere and has a sobriety date tattooed on his wrist as a reminder of how far he's come. Everything changed on June 26, 2020, when Jelly Roll released Save Me during one of the darkest periods of his life, as he mourned his father's death and struggled with isolation during COVID-19 lockdowns. The song's raw emotion resonated deeply, and its acoustic version exploded online, surpassing 200 million YouTube views by 2025, with fans flooding him with messages about how it helped him survive addiction, grief, and despair. Blending country emotion with hip-hop roots, Save Me crossed genre boundaries and charted in country, rock, and hip-hop, a rare achievement that caught the attention of major labels. On September 9, 2021, Jelly Roll signed a $3 million deal with BBR music group Stony Creek Records, one of the biggest contracts for a new country artist. Soon after, he released Ballads of the Broken on September 17, 2021, a deeply personal album exploring addiction, mental health, and redemption. The record debuted in the top 10 on Billboard's country chart, earned over 100 million streams in its first month, and produced hits like Dead Man Walking and Son of a Sinner, with Dead Man Walking reaching number 1 on the rock charts. Critics praised the album as one of the year's strongest country debuts, proving Jelly Roll wasn't just an outsider, he was redefining the genre. In 2023, he reached another milestone when Son of a Sinner climbed to number 1 on country radio, a slow-burning victory that confirmed his journey from addiction and incarceration to redemption and stardom was real. With lyrics that felt deeply personal, the song connected with millions, reaching number 31 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earning a platinum certification for selling over 1 million units. For Jelly Roll, the moment meant everything. 4 years, people doubted whether someone like him, a former rapper covered in tattoos with a troubled past, could truly make it in country music, but he proved them wrong. Celebrating the song's success, Jelly Roll said, "Imagine this happening to a guy who grew up in this town, a guy who spent the first 25 years of his life making all the wrong decisions." To him, it wasn't about charts or awards, but about proving that anyone, no matter their past, can rise and succeed. His country journey is filled with unexpected connections, none more important than his relationship with Brantley Gilbert. They first collaborated in June 2012 on Son of the Dirty South, blending Jelly Roll's rap roots with Brantley's country rock sound. Their partnership grew into a close friendship, songwriting sessions, and a short Son of the Dirty South summer tour that ran 5 shows from Jacksonville, Florida to Brandon, Mississippi. In 2023, they reunited with Struggle Jennings on Behind Bars from Jelly Roll's Wits at Chapel album. And by 2024, Brantley revealed they had secretly written enough songs for a joint EP, one that could potentially reshape how country music is viewed. One of the most emotional moments of Jelly Roll's career came on November 13, 2021, when he made his Grand Ole Opry debut. While serving time in prison in 2008, he had found comfort listening to country music and remembered hearing Craig Morgan perform at the Opry, an experience that gave him hope. Years later, when Jelly Roll stood on that same stage, he pointed out the exact seat where he once sat in the 7th row watching Craig Morgan sing. That night, he performed Son of a Sinner, Save Me, and Dead Man Walking, dedicating Save Me to anyone who ever felt worthless but found hope again. The moment came full circle in April 2022 when Craig Morgan joined him on the Opry stage to perform Almost Home and presented Jelly Roll with a framed copy of the lyrics. His rise continued at the 2023 CMA Awards, where on November 8th he won New Artist of the Year at age 39, becoming one of the oldest winners in the category. During his speech, he told the crowd, "Success is on the other side of it. Keep going, baby," later laughing after accidentally breaking the trophy backstage, joking that it perfectly summed up his life. Messy but real. Another milestone arrived with the release of Whitsett Chapel on June 2nd, 2023, named after a church he attended as a child. The deeply personal album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 on the Top Country Albums chart, breaking records for a country debut. Written entirely by Jelly Roll, the album featured collaborations with Brantley Gilbert, Lainey Wilson, and Yellow Wolf, and was inspired in part by his daughter Bailey's decision to be baptized, leading to powerful songs about faith and redemption like Halfway to Hell and Dancing with the Devil. In 2023, Jelly Roll also made touring history with his Backroad Baptism Tour, headlining 44 shows across the country alongside artists from multiple genres, including Chase Rice, 3-6 Mafia, and O'King, and selling out Nashville's Bridgestone Arena for over 18,000 fans. He expanded his reach further with a Canadian tour in 2024 and a surprising stadium tour announcement with Post Malone for 2025, a rare country hip-hop crossover that highlighted his boundary-breaking appeal. Behind the success, however, Jelly Roll continued to battle food addiction, which reached a breaking point on August 17, 2022, when he stepped on a scale and saw 563 pounds. 4 years. Food had been his comfort, sometimes consuming over 10,000 calories a day. He later admitted to eating entire pizzas alone, hiding snacks on his tour bus, and secretly binge-eating at night. A frightening moment came on March 3, 2023, after consuming 37 chicken wings, 2 large pizzas, and a gallon of soda, when severe chest pain sent him to the hospital. The shame wasn't new. Back in October 2021, he once ate a wedding cake meant for 200 people in just 2 days, but the scare finally pushed him to seek help from a nutritionist and therapist specializing in food addiction. Everything came to a head on January 15, 2024, during a sold-out concert at Bridgestone Arena with 20,000 fans in attendance, when Jelly Roll stopped mid-show and made a public promise. "I'm tired of being the fat guy in country music. Tonight, I'm making a promise to all of you and to myself that by this time next year, I'll be half the man I am today." The crowd went wild that night, but no one realized just how far Jelly Roll would go to keep that promise. The very next day, he got to work, hiring 3 personal trainers focused on different areas of fitness, along with 4 nutritionists, a sleep specialist, and even a hypnotherapist to help him rebuild his relationship with food. He transformed his mansion into a full-scale fitness center, complete with a basketball court, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and a massive sauna big enough for his entire band. His diet was just as unconventional, what he called the Nashville hot chicken diet, which allowed him to eat his favorite food in a healthier way. His chefs created a lean turkey version packed with spices that tasted nearly identical to the real thing, but contained 75% fewer calories. He ate it 5 times a day, paired with low-carb vegetables and a sweet tea-flavored protein shake. His workouts were relentless, starting every morning at 4:30 a.m. with a 5-mile walk around his property, sometimes joined by fans camped outside his gates. By 7 a.m., he was swimming for 2 hours, followed by 90 minutes of basketball drills, afternoon weight training and cardio, and yoga and meditation every night. Even while touring, he refused to stop, installing a treadmill on his bus and walking the same distance as the cities he traveled between. He also embraced extreme temperature therapy, spending $500,000 on a cryotherapy chamber, where he endured 3 minutes at minus 230 degrees Fahrenheit multiple times a day, followed immediately by 20 minutes in a sauna heated above 220 degrees, a routine he claimed burned an extra 3,000 calories daily, despite medical concerns about safety. Jelly Roll documented everything publicly, sharing daily weigh-ins, body measurements, and even blood test results. On March 3, 2024, He posted an emotional video trying on jeans he hadn't worn since high school, breaking down in tears as a clip went viral with over 50 million views in a single day. The moment sparked the Jelly Roll Challenge, inspiring fans worldwide to share their own weight loss journeys. By June 2024, just 6 months in, he had already lost 150 pounds, forcing him to pause tour dates of resize stage outfits and redo promotional photos, while more than 500,000 fans joined his official weight loss support group online. Through therapy, Jelly Roll discovered that his food addiction was deeply tied to his past drug use, with the same brain pathways triggering binge eating, explaining why traditional diets never worked. This realization changed everything. He stopped treating food addiction and substance abuse separately and instead built a unified recovery plan with experts. Therapy became central to his life, attending sessions 5 times a week since September 2022, totaling more than 500 hours of counseling. In March 2023, a breakthrough came when a specialized therapy session uncovered a buried memory of abuse, a painful but critical step in his healing. He also joined Overeaters Anonymous, attended meetings regularly, and in July 2023 participated in a brutal 72-hour retreat in the Mojave Desert that involved fasting and intense emotional work, helping him recognize how deeply his relationships shaped his struggles. He explored alternative therapies as well, including equine therapy, hypnosis, and guided psychedelic sessions, one of which helped him forgive his father after 15 years of estrangement, leading to an emotional reunion he later spoke about publicly. To manage stress, Jelly Roll added a meditation pod to his tour bus in early 2024 and committed to meditating for at least 30 minutes before every show, a change prompted by a panic attack on stage in February 2024 that forced him to walk off mid-performance. He also began writing music daily as emotional release, creating more than 300 pieces in a single year. Physically, he took up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in September 2023 as a way to channel anger and build discipline, earning his blue belt by the end of 2024 and even incorporating moves into his live performances. He continued extreme temperature therapy several times a week, believing it helped regulate his emotions and improve sleep, even investing in a mobile cryotherapy sauna for tours. Throughout it all, Jelly Roll remained brutally honest about his mental health, revealing in April 2024 that he lives with borderline personality disorder and admitting on a later podcast that he had struggled with suicidal thoughts earlier that year. His openness sparked an outpouring of messages from fans seeking help for their own battles, turning his personal healing journey into a lifeline for countless others.